welcome Emmanuel to our Rain Heart Wisdom Show. Thank you for being here with us today.
Hello, everybody. Hello to the world.
I love your background, by the way.
Yeah, I'm the Frenchman out of space, coming to planet Earth, coming in peace.
Awesome. And that's something we'll be talking about today. So just a quick introduction for everyone. I met Emmanuel, or actually I sent you a message and then we connected online because I was running my Women's Summit at that time. You just launched the documentary Femme. And it was so timely for me to also introduce it to our community at that time. And since then we have been in touch, and I know you have produced many amazing documentary, very much focusing on uplifting humanity, and that's your focus, and peace. That's that's one of your key focus. I know you are also the president of the Rotary Club. That's I forgot the full name. I know it's about
peace. It's called the Rotary E-Club for World Peace.
There you go. Yes, E-Club for World Peace. So I know you're a strong advocate of that. And you have a company as well. It's called Wonderland Entertainment Group, where you produce and direct your own documentaries.
Yeah, absolutely. For the last decade, I created a series called the Oneness Collection, and it's really a study of our humanity. So we just completed that collection after 10 years working all around the world, filming in 5 continents, over 30 countries, 500 interviews, and each documentary is a look at us. How can we better ourselves from the intellectual, spiritual level to the physical and practical level. So the first movie was called The Invocation, and that was a study of religion, of oneness, of the notion of God, Allah, the big architect, energies from science to religion, spirituality. Then we did a movie called Femme, Women Healing the World, and it's really about rebalancing the feminine and masculine energy in the world. And then from there, we started to become much more practical. So this year we released 2 very timely movies. One is called The Cure, Healing the Mind, Healing the Body, Healing the Planet. And obviously we are right into that pandemic situation right now. So it's a very timely movie. And to go with this one, we did a movie called We the People, A Re-Evolution of Economics and Politics. Because I believe that we cannot have good economic and politics until we have a healthier mind, a healthier body, and a healthier planet. So that's why we released these 2 movies together as companion movies. And then I just finished the 5th and last documentaries of this doc series. It's called Guns, Bombs, and War, A Love Story. And why that movie? Well, basically it's a conclusion of the study of this 10 years path, 10 years journey, to really figure out that the reason we have failed, and we see it with the pandemic, is because we are not in relationship with each other anymore. We are in business-ship, we are in consumership, we are in sex-ship, we are in computer-ship, but we are not in relationship, meaning we don't understand that the notion of oneness is not a guru notion. It's a very physical notion where, like dominoes, we are all connected to each other, and either we stand or we fail together. And so we have to reestablish partnership, reestablish relationship, understand that we are 8 billion geniuses and we all have something to offer to this beautiful planet. We are all amazing, rich individuals with infinite capacities, skills, resources. And if you look at planet Earth today, look at it. There is all the money. Money grows on trees. There is money everywhere. So, actually the stock market is really doing good compared to us, we the people being more poorer than ever. So there is money. There are resources, there is infinite amount of water, of food, of everything. Obviously brain, look at you and I, but everybody else is a beautiful, amazing brain. So what there isn't is an articulation, a healthy relationship between all of these elements. So meaning 8 billion people are not living in oneness. They are living in separation because, again, they were programmed by government and medias who make them believe they are separated, and in some cases, they are the chosen one, they are number one, America first or France first. This is nonsense. It's one soul, one people, one planet, one universe. It's all connected, and quantum physics today shows us that it's really, we are all intertwined on a molecular level. So let's stop that lie of disconnection and separation. It's just a delusional to think you can survive on your own. You can't, and you shouldn't. The meaning of life is with the people.
And I love it. I love each part of it that you talk about and the focus of it, and the theme is about oneness, right? And we are in this time right now, and this is where that even more so, it's a time for us to come together to face what we're facing as a global citizen, as humanity as a whole. I do have a couple of questions to ask you, but before I kind of pivot to those questions about some of the things you mentioned, I do want to ask you, what inspired you to create this docu-series?
Well, the thing that inspires me every day and from the beginning is us. It's really with the people. It's every time I meet somebody, it's amazing, or I get inspired, because whether it's somebody that has infinite possibilities because of his class or his resources, or somebody who's stuck begging for a buck in the street, everybody has an amazing mind. So it's really the people's mind that inspire me. 10 years ago, when I started to create that collection, I was previously doing very lame sci-fi, horror, action movies, and I was a little bit frustrated because I thought it was really silly entertainment, popcorn entertainment. And I thought, listen, really, that's all your mind can do. And on top of that, my first son was born, Felix. And so I felt a responsibility to leave something behind me that was, I thought, more representative of who I was and who I am. So I just started to do that. I thought I use documentaries because documentaries are a political platform for a filmmaker. And when I say political, the word politics has been prostituted by people. Politic comes from politis, which means for the people, by the people, with the people. So it's really engaging into helping people and society. So I think documentaries do that. They really liberate your mind. They educate you, not preach, which is a big difference between preaching and educating. Preaching is you have an agenda and you impose. It's almost a fascist way of programming somebody. We are not programming. We are liberating your mind with all these documentaries. We are never saying you have to believe this or that. No, we are saying, look at all the possibilities. We know that you are an amazing, intelligent human being. Just think twice next time you make and take decision, and that's how it started. It's that wish to really liberate the mind. I think the ultimate revolution will be the revolution of the mind. We need to let people explore, go beyond, transcend. You are not that person that was put in this box with that race, that class, that religion, that sex. No, you are all and more of that. So realize there is an infinite world in front of you, and let the mind gel explode and liberate yourself. So these movies are that. They're creating a mind revolution.
Awesome. And I think that is so necessary, especially our core beliefs, like you talk about, that drives really our reality. So, I know before we got on the interview, we were chatting, and one of the key things to talk about is action, right? So, and action is such a big thing. I would like to ask you, from all the documentaries that you focus on, and especially recently The Cure, which is focusing on the mind, what are some of the things that people can do right now, especially in the midst of what's happening in the world?
Keep going. That I always say that. It's, I think the tendency is to seek comfort by practicing over and over the same ritual, the same meditation, the same prayer. The problem is the mind gets lazy. So when you do something repetitive all the time, that's when you build walls of gel around you. And so you cannot do that. When people say, what is your practice? I'm like, it's everything and nothing. I keep going. I embrace it all and I go beyond, and that's it. And I refuse to belong to that tribe or that religion, or that race, or that class, or that culture. I'm all and I'm nothing, you know, I'm part of the whole. So why, you know, even so I've got that silly French accent, am I French? Well, maybe first, but beyond that, I'm a citizen of the world. I feel good in France as much as I feel good in the US or in India or in Africa. You know, I feel good with my brothers and sisters from everywhere, whether they're Asians or Africans or Arabic. I don't care. I don't see people with these eyes of separation. So it's and it's hard because again we are programmed to believe this is your tribe, this is where you're safe, this is where you belong. It's like, no, we belong everywhere and we belong nowhere, you know. And actually, point proven, because in every religion, class, race, there are great people and there are horrible monsters. So no, you're part of the whole. So don't limit yourself. You know, it's fine to be proud of who you think you are at first and where you grew and with that culture and race and religion and all that. But just explore. It's an amazing planet with infinite possibilities. And that's by using all these possibilities, we're going to solve all the problem. You know, I don't understand today why we've got, you know, 2/3 of humanity living in crap. You know, having no normal lodging, food, no resources. When you see all of the money that's available, all of the resources that's available, all the geniuses, all the NGOs, organization, UN backed up program, it's not normal. The reason it happens is because we are led by monsters who make you believe, don't worry, I'm going to save you. So you poor people of Africa or India, just behave. Next life will be better. We are taking care of you. You're taking care of nothing. It's completely disaster. And we see it with the pandemic. It's even more of a disaster. So no, you need to wake up and you need to become peace in action. And how do you do that? You run for office. Whatever your office is, don't wait to be saved. Do the saving, which means I want you to get involved, whether it's your school, it's your church, it's anything you're part of. Don't wait passively. Propose solution, be proactive, and eventually get elected in key position of power, because that's how you're going to change the world, by participating to the structure of society. And society is run by two big engines, economics and politics. Politics, we are all politicians. We are the politicians of the world, because politics is politics. It's for the people, with the people, by the people. So people that you think who are politicians and elected right now, no, they are gangsters. And look at them. All they do is create wars and chaos. So no, you are a politician. So you deserve to be elected. And then economics comes from economia, which means the management of the resources. Well, we are all economicians. We're all into economics because we all have something to manage. We have our household to manage. We have our little resources, whatever. We have our kids. We have our family. So we know to manage the resources of the household. So we all can really, we are the specialists of economic politics. So we really have, again, to deprogram ourselves, thinking that we're going to be saved by these people who dare to say to us that they are the specialists, they are the professionals. Don't worry, I'm going to take care of yourself. No, look at them. They are taking care of nothing. It's a total collapse. Trillions of dollars of debt in the US, in France, in India, in Africa, everywhere. All they know what to do is print money that has no more value in these days. That's it. So really, you think you're professional? You're professional of crap. That's what you're professional of. So run for office. This is how you lead the next revolution, which is the revolution of the mind, liberate the people, burn the Bastille, as we say in France, and then you will get real freedom, liberty, peace, justice for all.
Awesome. I love that speech. You know, it's like, wow, let's start a movement right now. We want to say the oneness movement, right?
You know, and by the way, you know, I am I'm putting in action what I say. You know, I formed a political movement in France last summer, and now I'm trying to get to run for president of France in 2 years. So who knows? You are maybe talking to the next president of France right now.
Wow,
you know,
awesome.
That's all.
I'll go vote there.
that's how you do it when you are crazy like I am, but you can do it at the micro level in your own little community, village, city. You know, you don't need to go mental like I am. You know, don't be as crazy as I am. I mean, if you want to be crazy as I am, that's fine. Join the madness. You know, it's a happy madness.
You're absolutely right. And we need more. We definitely need more that, you know, get that, you know, like you said, right? And this is something I've also talked about for a long time is it's crazy that 2/3 of the population are still suffering and they don't have enough. But it's part of the reason is because we're not managing resources really well. We have all the resources that we need, but we're just not managing. And we need people to be in position to collaborate and cooperate, just like what nature is, to create this world. And I'm excited that you're running. You know, I'm going to be following. And like I said, if I could vote, I'll go there and vote for you.
You vote with your mind. Right now, it's sending that energy that supports me. That's it. And that's what we need to do, you know, first. We need to be very supportive of each other, even if we don't see each other. You know, every day I feel the pain of the world when I wake up, and I really just compose myself and say, okay, we're going to make it. We're going to make it because I know we can. We are amazing. There is no reason. So we will find a way to replace these people who have put us down into a state of slavery, because right now we are slaves. You know, it's still the time of the pharaohs. We never got rid of the pharaohs, of the kings and queens. So we can do it, except hopefully we are not going to do it with violence, because we don't need to do it with violence. Like Che Guevara and Castro did in Cuba or France or everywhere. You know, we don't need a revolution of pain and tears and blood, because that creates more fractures, obviously, and more separation. You know, like somebody told me, you know, the reason why America is so divided is because civil war never ended in America. At the end of civil war, what they agreed to do is a ceasefire, but there was no resolution. There was no, okay, let's come as one people, as one America. And so to this day, America is still divided. America is still in war, at war with itself. It's still a civil war here. And we saw it again this week. You know, right, there is all this madness going on because this poor black man was obviously killed by an abusive cop. And by the way, I love cop. I've got no problem with cop, but sometimes somebody loses their mind and they commit the worst ever monstrosity. And you have to be honest with yourself and say, I did it. Yes, I lost my mind. Now I need to pay the price. So we have to be honest with each other. But again, it's about trying to realize we are one community. We are one big family, whether we are black, white, Asian, you know, religious or not. It doesn't matter. We all want the same basic thing, which is to have a roof over our head, feed our family, just have a common sense of feeling necessary for planet Earth and being able to give as much as to receive. So really, we have to rethink totally the way we live with each other, because right now we don't live with each other. We fight. We are at war with each other. And that's why the new movie I just finished is really, I hope, so inspiring, because it shows you where we come from, you know, a civilization of war, still at war. You know, I mean, look, the three biggest warlords are Trump and the US, Putin and Russia, and Macron and France. These are the three biggest weapon sellers country in the world. These countries are behind, directly and indirectly, 99% of the conflicts. That's insane to me. And then they dare to tell us, oh, we are the freedom fighter. We want to spread democracy. What? You spread death. What are you talking about? You're in the business of death. Since when selling weapon is a good business? It kills customers. That's the dumbest business ever. I mean, in the middle of pandemic, I think like last month, you know, Macron in France blessed the continuation building of nuclear submarines. How the heck are we engaged in a nuclear submarine building in the middle of a pandemic and being proud of that? Are you mad? That's a problem. Our leaders are mad. Look into their eyes, and all you see is total madness. They are insane. We are in an asylum. So I don't say destroy and burn the asylum. I say replace the leaders of this asylum. It will be still a little bit crazy planet, and that's fine. You know, we're all crazy to a certain degree. You know, Freud told us we are all crazy, and it's only degree of craziness that separates us from each other. So being a little bit crazy is fine. It's fun. You need to explode and everything, but you don't need to be that crazy because that becomes insanity. So right now we are in an insane world. So we need to calm down and bring down the level of insanity to a more manageable level of craziness. You know, we can manage craziness. Insanity, we can't. Right now we're in pure insanity. But it will happen. It will happen. It's going to take time, but it will happen, you know. And again, it's one school at a time, one church at a time, one city at a time, one country at a time. It will spread, you know. Peace is an action.
Yeah, I agree with you, Peace. I loved it because you have your, the background is the planet, and you know,
Exactly. Right?
Right? It's
That's
ironic. That's our
we are
home.
citizen of the world. I didn't put a French flag behind me. That would be like so pretentious and dumb. No, I put the planet because I'm a humble servant of planet Earth. On one side, I'm a humble servant, and on the other side, I'm a mad leader. You know, you need to be both. You need to be in balance between your humbleness and your pretentious wanting to better yourself and the world, and it's not in contradiction. That's how you move things. That's how you move yourself. But you need to stay in check and balance, as we say. You know, you need to try to keep a sense of reasoning yourself. And the way I do that with myself is not, okay, trying to stop and breathe and realize, or sometimes I go too far. But also I allow people to just slap me every day. You know, my wife, my kids, they keep me grounded. My friend, they're like, Emmanuel, you're full of BS. Like, oh yeah, you're right. I went a bit too far. You know, so it's about that. And again, if you look at the president of the world right now, they are surrounded of moron leeches who just kiss their butts. That's all they do. But they don't tell them, hey, you little blah, blah, you know, can you stop your insanity? No. And if they do that, they are fired immediately. So that's why we are doomed. You know, we have mad men, mainly a few women, but it's mainly men, sadly, who are screwing up the planet for us. So that's enough. That's enough, you know. So yeah, run for office, and then let's reprioritize what needs to be prioritized. You know, I mean, obviously when I see or you know the budget of what they call defense in most Western country is number 2 or 3, and sometimes number 1, like in the US. This is insane, you know. Like in France, for example, you know, I'm talking about France because I'm studying really the problem of France, so I pretend to be president. You know, I discovered that the budget of health and hospital and medicine was number 7. But the budget of defense, of making weapons and the army and all that is number 3. So that's why we're in the crap we are in France. Yeah, you know, it's not that we didn't have the resources, and it's not that the virus that was that bad. It's that we were not prepared because our government wanted to spend money into making weapons instead of spending money into hospitals and doctors and medicine and masks and vaccine and so on. So that's the reality. So that's what we have to come down and say, you know what? I don't want you to manage our country anymore. You're an idiot. That's enough. We don't need idiots. I don't say I'm more intelligent, but I'm much more practical and I'm much more honest. And my philosophy is not a philosophy of war. It's a philosophy of peace. Because you don't prepare for peace by preparing for war. No, you prepare for peace by preparing peace. You know, there is no way to peace. Peace is the way. And that's a famous quote from A.J. Must, who was an American philosopher, even though he was originally from Europe. But that's the philosophy. You know, you have to become peace. As long as you are a violent being in your mind, in your action, there won't be any peace. So you cannot keep building nuclear submarines and weapons of mass destruction, because it prepares your mind to eventually attack and kill. That's a stupid preparation. So you need to transition that. You need to transform that. And it's about transformation, you know. It's about saying, listen, we have all these resources engaging into making nuclear submarine. Well, great, let's use all these good people and skilled people who are engineers and doctors and architects and managers, and put them into making bridges and roads and hospitals. It's the same mind, but it's a mind put into a different action, an action of peace and not an action of war. So I will never, never, ever say, like Macron dared to say, I come to you as a president of war and at war. So that's a stupid thing. It's horrible. It's monstrous. You're creating chaos. No, you're a president of peace. A president is a man of peace. It's a Gandhi. I always say, you know, I'm Muhammad Ali. I've got the fist of Muhammad Ali and the heart of Gandhi. That's who I am. And that's who every president should be. Somebody who's got the gloves of Muhammad Ali to be able to box and punch if necessary, but with the heart of Gandhi, which means it's spanking with love. And that's a big difference than spanking with hate.
It is. Yeah, a very big difference. And yeah, Gandhi is someone that, you know, a big, someone that I adore and follow, and his principles as well, you know, and you mentioned really comes from inner peace. Then we can create outer peace starts with us, right? If we come from hate, we just create more hate, and then we create more war. But when you come from peace, we create more peace, which is absolutely the path. And also, like I said, I love the planet. You know, it's about us, humanity. We live, you know, Buckminster Fuller's Bucky. I follow a lot of his principles and teaching, and we teach that in our programs too. And you know, he talks about this is our planet Earth is our spaceship, right? We're all on this spaceship together, but it's so ironic that we are bombing different parts of the spaceship and then expecting everything's going to be okay. It's crazy. You're on one same spaceship, but
it's
you know,
stupid.
It's
Stupidity. It's yeah, it's stupidity. It's delusional. It's really, you fix things by destroying things. Things
right. Right, and you know,
you build by debuilding, by destroying. It makes no sense. But the problem is, again, the people who govern us have no common sense. They have no common, and they cannot have common sense because they were never part of us, of we the people. You know, I always say, I the people, we president. And it's a very big, different frame of mind than saying, I the president, you the people. Mm-hmm. You know, I'm a servant. You know, I'm just a referee in a soccer game, you know, as a president. I'm just here to massage, to tell you I love you, to encourage, to guide, to structure, but never to impose and reform and break and destroy, you know, because we are all interconnected, we are all interdependent. So the CEO need the person who clean the toilets as much as the person who clean the toilet need the CEO. You know, we are all connected. Nobody can live, no man is an island. You know, we have been programmed with so many cliches. It's horrible. So, excuse me, that has to change. And it will, but it takes a little bit of time.
And it takes, you know, collaboration, cooperation, and you know, we're all doing it together.
Like we do today with your program. You know, that's it's about connecting, articulating a conversation. Because when you articulate a conversation, it's beautiful. It's like a ping pong match. You stimulate the mind of each other. So every time you do that, you send impulsions that are awakening your cells, and these cells being spanked, being agitated, are going to respond with something, with a formulation of some thought you didn't even have just before you started to open your mouth. And it comes only from that beautiful interaction, relationship. You know, again, we become I by playing the game of we the people. You know, so we have to transition from the me, myself, and I to the me, myself, and we philosophy. Because the we include the I. The I forget itself into that notion of cynical, narcissistic existence, and forget there is a we. And that's when the I fall into depression, into extremism, and start creating chaos. And we see it all the time, especially with our president. Again, look at Trump, Putin, Macron, and on and on. They are person lost into the I. They have really lost the understanding of the we, the people. And they have lost the notion that they are a servant. Mm-hmm. They are a humble servant. So be a humble servant. That doesn't mean you are a slave. Big difference. You mean you are just humble, but at the same time you are very active and very progressive, and you're putting your thought into action. So run for office.
Awesome. I love that. So those of you who are listening, okay, if there's opportunity, jump in. You know, I've been thinking about it a little bit here and there sometimes. If people want to watch your documentary, could you please share where can they go?
Yeah, well, basically, you know, distribution-wise, it's always been a struggle. And the reason you have to go through distribution is because every time I do a documentary, I spend between $200,000 or $300,000 easy of my money and equity partner money. So individuals will put anywhere from $1,000 to sometimes 50,000. So I need to find always the best distribution to be able to monetize, bring back the money so we can keep going. And it's been a struggle. So in the US, it's easy because if you live in the US, it's all over Amazon, iTunes, most digital platform. But in the rest of the world, sadly, we haven't had that much success at finding local distributors or even global distributors. Like I keep talking to the Gaias and the Netflix, and they get stuck. Like yesterday again, Gaia sent me an email saying, "Oh, your last movie, it's really too shocking and too raw." And I'm like, "What are you talking about? It's a movie about war and violence. What do you want me to do? Put some Bambi and Snow White Disney-like images? No, violence and war is ugly. I cannot put a picture always of a hurt and somebody with a little tears. You have to show war as it is, which is people dying. Death is not beautiful. Since when death is beautiful? Yeah, death is beautiful when you play dumb video games and on your computer and you don't die, you know, but that's obviously an illusion. It's a lie. So bottom line, if you are living in the US, you have access to my documentaries. If you're not living in the US, sadly, you're not that much in luck, except by watching your program. Now you're in touch with me. So just Google me, Emmanuel Itier. Go to my website, which is Wonderland Ant Group, wonderlandentgroup.com. And also go on my political website, because even though it's in French, there is a downloadable version in English, and that's lavictoirefrancaise.net. L-A, Victoire, so like victory, but with an E instead of an I, and française.net. But just type Emmanuel Itier on Google and you'll get to me through every website. I'm easy to find. I will never hide. I will always be there for everybody. You know, I'd get shot like Gandhi in the middle of a crowd, and I won't give a damn because the ID will live. And that's what's important is, again, you have every day to run the risk to get shot to be alive. You know, if you stay home, confined, and praying endlessly, nothing will happen. So you have to get out of your house. You have to jump in your car or on your bicycle, and you have to take the walk. And yeah, that means maybe an elephant's gonna run over your bike, or some mad person drunk is gonna kill you in a car accident. But that's it, that's life. You know, we cannot just live as a slave. We have to run the risk of dying to be alive. So it's a little bit shocking, but that's the reality. That's the truth.
Yeah, I agree with you.
That's how you liberate yourself, by really gaining that faith. And faith, by the way, is not a religious term. It comes from an old Roman Latin verb, which is fidere, which means to trust. And that's also where we go as an individual. We need to find the inner trust, the inner faith, and rebuild that trust with each other. So we walk with no fear, and we walk with peace and love. And we are.
Thank you so much, Emmanuel. Thank you for and I love how you end with, we walk with peace and love, and that's who we are ultimately. You know, what a great way.
That's who we are.
Yeah, that's why I'm remembering that that's all we are, and we came here being a demonstration of that. Thank you again for an amazing. I loved. I'm inspired by you. I'm inspired by the movement you're creating. Like I say, if I can vote for you in France, I'll be there. And it's about taking action. So it's those who are listening, the audience. It's time for us to take action as a humanity as a whole, coming together and create that peace. And we can. And I believe too we can. And that's why I keep going, because I know we can create a world that works for all humanity 100% of the time. Us coming together, supporting each other, and coming from peace, like you said, and love. So thank you again so much for being on our show, Emmanuel, and for your wisdom. And for those of you who are watching, thank you for watching, and we will see you on the next video.
Peace. I love you.
I love you too. Thank you, Emmanuel.
Bye-bye. I'll see you around the world, people.
Yes.